There we go. Well, hello everyone. I want to welcome you to the second in the series of the Makeover webinars that SkillsCommons is presenting. And today we have our technology partner who has worked with us for the past several years and has also worked with several TAACCT grant projects, Microburst Learning. So we're gonna hear from them today, and are really looking forward to what they have to share with us here over the next few minutes. By way of introduction, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about SkillsCommons and our sustainability plans in the future. Are we going to be around or not? And obviously, yes, we are. We plan to be here. And one of the ways that we're looking at as part of our strategy to sustain the collection of materials and educational workforce content in SkillsCommons is by partnering with tech companies to help improve the current content. And that's part of our special today is about doing the, yes, I'm recording, okay, yes. And so we're wanting to just highlight the whole makeover strategies that SkillsCommons has. So we're committed to be here after the grants end. For those of you who are tech grantees, we're committed to support your success during your grant and beyond. What are benefits of the makeovers? You know, why even do this? Well, first of all, it does reduce your production time and overall financial costs, because these are the experts. These are the folks who really know what they're doing and have just proven it over and over again. And one of the things that we're looking forward to is today is to talk about the showcases. So at this point, I'm going to transfer us, after I show you a few of these screenshot slides, to the SkillsCommons site to be able to see what this looks like live. But we have a showcase area on SkillsCommons, and today what we're highlighting are the Makeover Showcases. And we have two types of makeovers in SkillsCommons currently that are being made. They're content makeovers, so that's where we're adding things to the material that's already there. So maybe creating some interactive, you know, quizzes or you know, some places where people can pick something and, you know, like multiple choice, you know, where you can actually pick a graphic and apply, you know, drag it and drop it to an area where it matches the definition for a meaning for a word, for example, something like that. So, so that's some things where the content has actually been made over, in a sense, from a Word document or a PDF. Okay, and then the packaging and delivery makeover strategy is about where we take the content from SkillsCommons and make, for example, into an ebook or put it into a learning management system, so that it could be taught through your institutions, if they're with Canvas or Moodle or Blackboard or Sakai or one of the others. So those are the types of makeovers that we have. I would say today's makeover is going to be more of a content makeover. But what Microburst has done, and we'll show you as well, is they've actually put it into their package and delivery system. And so we'll get to see that as well. So we kind of get 2 for on this one. So we're looking forward to seeing what they have. So there's the content makeovers and the package and delivery makeovers. And just one other note, as I go through these slides really quick, we're going to actually put this presentation on our website, and we'll send the link out to all the participants, and you'll be able to get the PowerPoint presentation, both of our presentations, and I have all the links to all the places that I'm highlighting on SkillsCommons, so you'll be able to navigate back to it. So we have these Makeover Showcases that we present and show on the site, so you can get an idea as folks can see what types of makeovers there are on SkillsCommons. So we have a really good, sustainable, and customizable infrastructure that you can use as part of the services that we provide on the Connect Center that we'll look at here in a second, and also at our annual conference, Merlot and the Online Learning Consortium conference called Innovate, and that's coming up here in the next month, and we'll share with you about that. So how would you connect with a technology company? And so we'll navigate over here to the technology partners through the Connect Center. Again, these links are all going to be in the presentation in the notes section. You'll be able to find that. So here are the technology partners that have gone through the technology partnership page. I mean, first off, and a little bit of our strategy of makeovers for those of you that are looking to working with a technology company. What are the benefits of working with a technology company? Why would you want to do that? And so what I'm going to do now is flip over to the, do a new share to the SkillsCommons site and take you to those places that I was just highlighting. So Showcases is where you'll click on right there, and then just scroll down here to Makeover Showcases, and here you'll see what are the different examples. So this is the site live right now, the different types of makeovers that have been done. And so you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like and different types of, examples, and maybe just browse and get a few ideas of some things that you might consider using a technology partnership to help you with your makeover and design strategy. And now I'm going to click on the Connect Center. So again, up here in the top row here, we have the Showcases, and then you can browse, but the Connect Center, and you just scroll down here and see the technology partners and how to connect with the technology partners. And so if you're a TAACCCT grantee looking to connect with a tech company, just click this link here, and it'll take you into how tech companies can help you achieve your goals and some of the great benefits that they provide. And as you go down through, you can look at the different technology partners with SkillsCommons. They've been vetted. They're great companies to work with. They'll help you meet your needs for ADA compliance, all that great stuff with interactivities and all these great things. So here's Microburst Learning, who is doing the presentation today, and then again, the other companies that are working with us. But here are just some of the great things that the technology partners can provide. And again, just highlight, they can help you make the content better. And you'll see that today with the presentation, make it more interoperable and readily adoptable, make the content more readily accessible. And you'll see that today as well. Help enable users to use and create free and open OER, or open educational resources, with a Creative Commons license on them as well. And then we'll showcase how the makeover could be made more sustainable by benefiting faculty, students, and institutions and industries. And one of the folks who is part of our team, Maria Feith, actually was a TAACCCT Round 2 project manager and worked with Microburst Learning. And so she has firsthand experience of working with a technology company on and helping them to develop their content for interactivity and online use. Could be both face-to-face or in an online, but they're computer-based. And Microburst was a great partner for them. And so I'm going to just ask Maria to share her thoughts of working with Microburst and the benefits of working with a technology partner, firsthand experience. So Maria?
Yeah, thanks, Rick. I appreciate that. I am Maria Feith, and my job currently is I develop communications and community for the SkillsCommons project. And previous to that, I was overseeing a Round 2 TAACCCT grant, which is a funded initiative under Department of Labor, in case that's not familiar to you. And so I am not an instructional designer, but I have been in education a long time, 27 years. This is my 27th year. And I have been trained formally as an educator. And so I understand the teaching learning cycle. And what I have come to know through my own experience, and that of which all of this project management, is that when you need specific skills, sometimes you've got to go outside of your project to find those. And that's what happened when we were first introduced to Microburst. We had a couple of very specific kinds of challenges that we were not going to be able to overcome on our own. And rather than bang our heads over and over again, we went to the pros. And Microburst came in and they sat down with us and said, okay, just talk to us about where you see the needs are. And they then began problem solving with us. And they did not come in with a directive about what we were going to do and how it was going to look. They just listened. So once they understood really what we felt the needs were, they started developing a plan around that. And they held my hand through the process, really. I think that's really fair to say. And I needed that. And I didn't have to worry that they were going to not be able to come through with what they had promised or within budget, on time, etc. So that kind of thing is a blessing to a project director. And since that time, we have continued to do some work with Microburst, and Rebecca will show you a few things that we're working on now. We're in the middle of a couple of projects now. And so I don't anticipate that partnership ending anytime soon for us, because there's somebody that I count on. When it comes to student engagement and increased interactivity, ADA compliance, all of those kinds of technical pieces that there is no way that I could manage on my own, this is one of the first places I go. So Rick, with that, I'll turn it back to you, unless there are...
Thank you. Yep. No, that's great. Thanks, Maria. Really appreciate it. So at this time, just want to give you folks that are in the webinar here live with us, that if you want to ask any questions as Rebecca goes through, Maria and I will monitor the chat window, and we will bring those to Rebecca's attention as we see something that might be useful for everyone to hear an answer to, and just allow Rebecca to kind of expound on it some more maybe. And some questions we may just answer if they're just kind of quickies. We might just answer those, Maria and myself, just in the chat window. So just wanted to give you that heads up. And with no further ado, we do have Rebecca Basil. Is that how you pronounce it, or Basil?
Rebecca Basil, you're exactly right.
All right, excellent. Creative Director with Microburst is going to go ahead now and share her presentation on the makeover strategies that they use. Thank you, Rebecca.
Sure. Thank you, and Maria, thank you for the kind words. We are so excited to be here today and have gotten to work on some really exciting makeovers over the past few years, so we can't wait to share some of what we've been working on with everybody today. Anne Brand with Microburst Learning is also on the call with us today. Anne, do you want to tell a little bit about Microburst and what we do as we get started?
Absolutely. So welcome everyone. So glad you guys could join us, and we are looking forward to showcasing some of our makeovers with you today. And hopefully if you have questions or if you have needs after this call, we can talk offline about how we may be able to help. So Microburst has been in existence for over 11 years now, and I'm one of the co-founders, and so Rebecca and Jordy Johnson and I are the core leadership group within our team, and we've been working together, well, Jordy and I have been working together for over 20 years, and we have two sides to our business. We have the business and industry side, which we provide leadership development, organizational design work, teamwork training for organizations all over the world, and I've been doing that for over 22 years now. The other side of our business focuses on education, and we provide soft skills. We provide what we call micro career bursts, which are online job shadowing opportunities for folks to experience different careers virtually. And of course, what you're going to see today, where we focus on taking content and converting that into this interactive ADA compliant world for folks to learn. But our key driver is focusing on short, powerful bursts of learning, and that's why we named our group Microburst Learning. And so, Rebecca, I don't know if there's anything else you need me to share about us, but we're excited to be a part of the SkillsCommons team and supporting. We have a great relationship with that group, and they are always challenging us with great and fun projects. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Rebecca, unless you have anything else you'd like for me to cover.
Wonderful, Anne. Thank you so much. That was perfect. Let's see. It is not, there we go. We have, like Anne said, worked on some very exciting projects, and these are the few of the projects that we've worked on. We've worked with a number of consortiums and also a lot of individual technical colleges as well. And each project is unique that we work on, and our goal is, like Maria said, to really come in and to listen to you and discover what your needs are, and then figure out how we can meet those needs for you. A lot of times instructors have put a lot of time into a course, and we want to make sure that anything that we come in and work on with the course fits their expectations and uses the work that they have done to it. So these are, again, some of the samples of the partners that we've worked with. And we do a lot of different type of makeover services. So we can just talk through these briefly. We can convert existing content into engaging interactive e-learning, and we're going to take a look at some examples of this today. This is where the file may be written in a Word document or submitted as a PowerPoint, and what we do is we take it and we make it interactive. We add in scenarios, we add in videos, we add in places where the user interacts and works through a problem. The next thing that we can help you with is, if you have a lot of courses that you are working on writing, we can come in and pick those up almost at the beginning and work with the subject matter expert to build the course. And of course, we have a review process where we work with you at each stage as we build the course or the material to make sure that you are approving what we are doing. And then that takes us from the beginning of the course to completion. And at the end, it's a narrated, interactive e-learning piece, if that's what you would like, or it's a PowerPoint that is fully compliant. Another thing that we do is we complete ADA compliance reviews and ensure ADA compliance. We have gone through hundreds of Word files, PowerPoints, storyline files, Blackboard, different cartridges to ensure that the ADA compliance is met. We have a process that allows us to do this very, very efficiently. All of the files are reviewed twice, and then we add the compliance, and then we do a final review to make sure the compliance is working. And one of our goals with compliance is not to just make sure that compliance is added to a project, but to make sure that the compliance is added well so that it is most effective for the user. Another thing that we can do is we can complete third-party subject matter expert reviews. We have third-party subject matter experts in a lot of different contact areas, and we can move through those and provide reviews and updates to the material as necessary. One of the things that we can also do is update and provide maintenance on lessons. Technology is always changing, and it's amazing how much it has even changed since we have begun working on some of these courses. So we can always, update courses and make any changes that are needed to the courses. And also, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been providing ADA compliance train the trainer webinars and conferences to teach instructors how to create ADA compliant material from the beginning, so that they can use templates and increase their efficiency as they move through the material. And then, a lot of times we get called in, there's a deadline that's pretty close by, and something is needed very quickly, and we will work with you on your timeline to make sure that we deliver what you need on time and in budget. So now that I've talked a lot, let's take a look at some of the work that we've done, and this will give you kind of a feel for what we do. Two of the things that we're going to focus on today, this course we are currently working on, it's the new faculty development course with IE2 EI, and then we'll also take a look at some CHIO skill bites. And let's go ahead and open these up right now. So as we started working with the I2EI group, they had a series of Word documents that they had developed for the course, and we had several meetings to determine the type of interaction and the feel for what they wanted. And then what we did was we went in and we started building an interactive course. So in all that we're going to look at today, over here you're going to have an outline view, and you can click anywhere you want to or go through in any order on the outline view over here. And then your previous and next buttons will always be here. And this is the learning area right here. These lessons are narrated, so they're going to appeal to those who are auditory learners and visual learners. You can always turn the sound up or down here, and they're accessible via a screen reader as well. So I thought we could just take a look at some of the different examples that we have done and walk through this. So one of the things that we can do, and there's narration playing here, I just have it turned off so you can hear me talking. This is a course for first-time teachers, and it's preparing them for how to work in the classroom the first time that they teach. And so we're giving them some examples of student interactions that they might run into. We're giving them some scenarios to work through. We can use video, we can use pictures, we can use audio to do all of this. So 1.61, this one started out with a very upset student, and we can always turn on closed captioning so they can see that as well. She has a project due, and she doesn't know what she needs to do. So we're talking about how, as an instructor, you need to have that clear and that consistent communication. And I'm not going to go through the entire lesson. I'm just going to click on a couple of slides so you can kind of see what we're doing and what we've been working on. This is kind of a teaching slide. We're asking them to, look at your students, read their body language, see if they're interested or bored, and see what nonverbal cues they're giving you. So we can liven up the teaching slides, and what we want to make sure that we're not doing is just overkill with a lot of text. We want to have movement, and we want to have engagement as they go through. In this case, this is a timeline that's going to show us what happens when an instructor doesn't do what they say that they're going to do. So right now we're going to use the mouse and work through this on the keyboard, and I'm going to move the slider along the keyboard, and I can see the response to what happens as time passes. So at 4 hours, hey, maybe they'll still reply to me pretty soon. And then I can click over here and go to 12 hours. Wow, my instructor hasn't replied yet. I'm really worried about this grade. And so hopefully this is a really great visual way that an instructor can see how important it is to do what they say they're going to do and how their actions affect their students. And it just continues. We're reminding them that your communication plan states that you're going to reply within 24 hours. And then when we hit 48 hours, she hasn't heard from him, so she's going to visit the office. So this is a neat way to engage and teach the material. I'll just show you one other section from here. One of the things we talk about is you need to be willing to change. And here's how you can improve your consistent communication. And, your student is late for a meeting, so you feel frustrated. You feel that shows a lack of respect and that they're not taking their class serious. So I'm going to drag the card to the gray box, and you're going to get the next part of the story. The student arrives and apologizes. His babysitter canceled, and he has to find someone to watch his kids. You're glad the student is working hard and attending your course. You encourage the student, but advise him to always call if running late. And then we provide a summary for how to hold people accountable and to have a plan to communicate with your students. Now this lesson you can move through freely, but we can also lock lessons down so that you have to view every video in the lesson. You have to view all of the slides in order before you continue. And that a lot of times just depends on what the people that we're working with would like to do for the courses. So this is just an overview of how we changed the Word document into the interactive e-learning course. So we included all of the information that was in the Word document, and we added some scenarios. We added video as well as compliance through the lessons. So let's take a look at CHIO. They did something I thought was really neat where they created skill bites. And skill bites were meant to help a student when they were having a hard time learning content. And so the skills bites needed to walk the students step by step through a topic. And they were just meant to be short little bits of content that introduce the students to the material. And so I want to walk you through this first one. This is again on brain anatomy. And the first thing we'll look at is the circle of Willis. So here, this is a teaching slide, and we are going through the different parts of the circle of Willis. And again, this is all narrated as it goes through. And then we're asking the students to label the diagram. And in this case, we are allowing them to place wrong answers, but we can also set it up so that the students must get it right before they move on, where they do a drag and drop, and if they drop it in the wrong place, it turns back to the original place. And then when you submit, we provide the right answers, and we also click so that the student can enlarge and compare what their answers were to the correct answers. And the nice thing is they can come back and they can do these again and again until they feel that they have it, till they understand the concept. Another interesting part of this is that we actually have images where we filmed, and it was provided where we can show what's going on. And so we can have video again to support. We can do the drag and drop interactions. We have a lot of quizzing capabilities as well. On this one, this was a pretty neat one with the time of flight, where we talk through exactly what time of flight is and how it uses the echo time and flow compensation. And boy, let me tell you too, when we do a lot of these projects, it's interesting what we learn about. So it's a lot of fun for us to learn about these different topics as well. So we've explained a little bit about what time of flight is, and then we have an animation that we've developed that shows how the blood flow goes through here and how the animation proceeds. And then the next thing we do is we have the actual video of the same things. And we have again the closed captioning that you can turn on and off. And this is someone talking through how the time of flight is working and what each step is. We can also add case studies, and these I think are some interesting case studies. In this case, the patient Mark is 56 years old with no significant medical history. When he suddenly begins experiencing double vision, headaches, droopiness of his right eye, he scheduled an appointment with his eye doctor because he thought that the new glasses could be the culprit. He denies smoking or using alcohol. His blood pressure is a little high and his weight is normal for a man his age and height. And then after examining Mark, the eye doctor referred him to a case study. So let's take a look and see what's going on with Mark. And here it says, Mark's vision problems, headache, and facial droopiness could be caused by a variety of conditions. So we can review what we think the possible diagnosis would be, and we can choose the ones that we think that are causing Mark's symptoms. We can click on each of these items to learn a little bit more about what they are. Here's what an aneurysm is. Here's what a stroke is. Here's what high blood pressure is. And again, they're reading the symptoms that can be caused by these. And then once they're done, they can choose, maybe he could be having a stroke or an aneurysm, and we can hit submit. And that says Mark's symptoms could be caused by an aneurysm or stroke. His cardiologist has ordered an MRA to help make a definite diagnosis and development a treatment plan. So it's a really good way that we can get in depth and allow the students to review concepts as they're having to think through a case study or a scenario that they would find in real life. And so we just have several different case studies. So now that we've gone through and we've decided, here it could be one of these two things, we are deciding which type of MRI would be best for Mark as we go through this. So we can build one question on top of another, kind of like a choose your own adventure storybook used to be, based on what the user responds.
Hey, Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make a quick note for folks who are watching or maybe, in here live or on the recording, that the great thing about these skill bites, as they're called, these are the SCORM package, which simply means you can take these and put those into an LMS, or you can just leave them on the SkillsCommons site and have links for your students to come and view them. But if you wanted to customize, like what we're talking about with the makeovers, you could actually take the branding that's on the left upper, banner there that says the CHIO project. Great. Yeah. And you could put your institution's logo there, or a course number, or course name, or a company, your employer graphic or whatever, and customize these to have your own branding on them if you wanted to do that. Otherwise, you could use them as they are and import them into your learning management system, or use them as a standalone SCORM package. That's the great thing about it. But I don't know if you wanted to mention anything about that.
That's great.
At this point. Yeah.
Absolutely. The packages are very easy to use, and it is very easy for us to update. If you have specific case studies that are common to your area, or if something is not important, we can add and remove and adjust any information in these files as you need for us to, or as you would like. Thank you, Rick. I sure appreciate that. Anne, is there anything that you would like to jump in with?
No, I'm good at this point.
Okay. And I'll just show a couple more examples, and then we'll open up for questions as we go along. We've showed a lot about healthcare here, so maybe let's take a look and do some math together here. This is again with the CHIO project, and we are teaching about inverse square law and solving distance. Again, we would sit down with the teacher or instructor who is interested in creating the material. We will create a review team and walk through the process and build this based on what you would like or what you need for your students. So what we do, for example, here, and again, I'm not going to walk through everything, we talk about how to solve for distance. And one of the, let's see, hold on, my mouse just froze for a second. Okay. Then we're going to talk through how to do the problem. So if you're given an intensity of 3 MR, and then we walk through exactly what you would do to solve the problem. And everything is read to you as well. And again, you can change the volume here. Then we have a video where he is drawing on the board, and this is an example of a lock we have on the file where you have to wait until the animation completes to watch the video. And again, we could lock the student in this file until they completed all of the tasks as they went through. And so he's walking through and he's solving the problem on the board for us. And we can turn off and on closed caption as he's walking through it too. So we would watch this video and he's going to explain it to us in great detail. And then guess what we're going to ask the student to do? Have their turn at solving the problem. So here they can type in what they think their responses are, but wait a minute, if they're not sure, they need a little bit of help, they can click here to view the equation again. They can also click here if it's hard for them to move through the lesson using their mouse. You can tab through and tab and hit enter for this keyboard alternative. And it's going to give you a true or false question. And you can also, tab through everything and hit enter to fully control this with your keyboard. And then we're going to move through here as well. Again, we're going to give hints and we're going to let the user continue to pick and choose solutions as they go along. And then we're going to give it to them as a test and let them have their calculator and pen and paper just like they would do if they were in class, solve the problem, and then enter the content on the screen. So we're kind of holding their hand at first as we walk through this simulation, and then as they practice, one example after another, we allow them to become more independent to work through the problems. And then we provide a summary at the end of the skill bite that walks them through the main concepts again. So these are a couple of examples of different makeovers that we have done, and I think now would be a great time to open up for questions.
Great.
Rebecca, I'll just try one.
Rebecca, we're just getting a few questions around attribution and how to do the attribution license for the original authoring institution, and how that would be taken care of. And so we do have places on the SkillsCommons site that will provide you that information, and there's even an attribution builder that Washington State University, there's an institution out there that created this as part of their OER initiative. And so it's a great piece of software, and we've actually embedded it on our site as well. And so I posted the link in there, and you can actually just type in all the information that you have, and it'll generate the attribution license for you. And then you can just take that and copy and paste it and put it on your, the piece that you're going to rebrand and reuse. So makes it super duper easy. So if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to ask. In the future, if there's something that around that you need support with, we can provide that to you as well.
That's good, Rick. This is Ann. I just wanted to reiterate that we're really great at taking existing material in whatever form you provide that to us, whether we video the subject matter expert or you already have it in a Word document or PowerPoint. And we're great at taking that content and bringing it to life in an interactive way, which Rebecca showed you many of those today. but we also have great experience in writing content from scratch and developing 3-hour courses and writing that, and where we're the subject matter experts and we're doing the research and we're writing the open source material and putting that into an online interactive package as well. So it depends on how much or how little you would need our expertise.
This is Maria, and I just wanted to reiterate that Microburst is available to work with TAACCT and non-TAACCT projects. And I know we've talked a little bit about the Trade Adjustment Assistant Initiative, but Microburst is a private organization, and they are not directly connected to the TAACCT funding except through contracts. And they've done a lot of work with TAACCT recipients, but TAACCT is going to be closing. Microburst work will go on through other kinds of projects. So we definitely want to make sure that people are aware this is not a TAACCT specific kind of service.
Rebecca, I know in the last presentation that we did, there was just questions around like time, for example, and I know this is all variables, right, based on the type of content that you would make over for somebody and the extent and the interactivity and all that. But on an average, just kind of an average turnaround time from when somebody approached you to take something out of SkillsCommons and to rebrand it and to make it over for them into interactive, kind of like you showed here with some of these examples with the IE2EI course and these Geo Skill Bites. I know those are two different things. So could you maybe talk about that? Sure. And then what's like an average cost for something like that? And again, I know these are all variables, and we're not going to hold, nobody's going to hold you, to a contract or anything, but just kind of as an idea, so it gives folks a little bit of an idea of the cost and things like that, as well as the timing. Thanks.
Okay. Excellent. First of all, to address the timing, a lot of times we get calls saying, hey, we have a project and we have to have it done in a month and a half. Can you do this? And then we'll review the content and we'll adjust our workflow and our timeline to do that. We can work on multiple courses and multiple lessons and multiple files at one time. Whether for one client we're doing ADA compliance, or whether for another client we're building a lesson from scratch, or for another doing a makeover. And all of those take very different lengths of time. So a lot of it depends on the information that we have to start with. If we were going to, for example, rebrand this inverse square law solving distance for a school, and all they wanted to do was change the logo here, change the colors, maybe add an additional couple of videos. We could do that with them probably for that one file in less than a week. If they have something complex where they want us to build it from scratch, we could probably have, for a lesson similar to this, a rough draft for them within 2 weeks. Now, a lot of it depends on how fast that they want to work as well, because they're going to go through review processes, and that takes time, so they've got to fit it into their schedule as well. But we can move through these very quickly and have great turnaround speed. And to develop a lesson like this from scratch, I would say 2 to 3 weeks. And again, we would be working on multiple lessons at one time, so it wouldn't be that you had to wait for us to do this one lesson and then we could move to the next lesson. We could be working on a group at the same time. And then as far as cost is concerned, our costs are very, very reasonable, but it is all dependent on how much information is supplied to us and then how much information we are creating. Do you want us to video for you? Do you want pictures added or taken? Are we doing the writing? So a lot of that we quote by project or by hour. And Anne, would you like to add anything to that?
I don't. I think it's dependent upon how much you want to provide to us or how little you need our help. So the more time we spend doing, the longer it will take us in development and the higher the cost, I guess. But if we do it in bulk, we can provide you by a project, and we will not go above that. Whatever we quote to you is whatever we do the contract and the work for. So we front-end development or back-end enhancements or maintenance piece, we can provide a quote to you depending upon what your needs are.
And just to make clarify as well that these materials that you would make over and produce for TAACCCT grantees, obviously, but then non-TAACCCT grantees would be ADA compliant. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We will make sure that they are ADA compliant, and we will go through a checklist to make sure everything is, from color compliant, that the text is compliant, that if there are tables, those tables are compliant, that the online learning is compliant as well. And a lot of times people simply want help with adding that ADA compliance. They have all of their files complete and would just like for us to go back in and add that compliance and ensure it's ready to go. So that's what we can help with as well.
One other thing that I feel like we should mention, and this is Maria, sometimes there are pieces that have already been developed, and that's the great thing about OERs, that you don't have to start from scratch, but the language isn't exactly right. And so Microburst Learning can work with you to say, okay, we need to target this population of people. We're going to be using this with employers or with workforce or with this particular department versus a separate department in our college system or our university system. And they can tailor the language to meet the needs of your particular audience without having to start completely over. And in doing so, saves a ton of money, which was really the whole idea behind OER to begin with.
Awesome. Thanks, Maria. And I want to just get this in real quick too, Rebecca.
Sure.
That at the OLC Innovate Conference is coming up next month, April 18th through the 20th in Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be held at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel. And the SkillsCommons team is going to be there, as well as our technology partners. And you'll be able to get to meet Anne and Jordy and Rebecca. I'm not sure if you'll be there, but if you are, that'll be great too. But
yes,
you can
I'll
actually
be there
with these technology partners and with folks from Microburst, and they can help you with anything you need there, answer any questions, and just give you some advice. But I just wanted to make sure y'all were aware of that as well. And so, again, we would love to see you there. We'll be there having workshops and work sessions, breakouts and stuff like that around workforce development and workforce training programs. Maria, do you want to say anything else on that? I know you're doing a lot of work there as well.
No, that we've got some cool stuff going on, and we hope that you'll consider joining us. And thank you for that welcome to Nashville. We cannot wait to come to Nashville and spend some time there. We've got a lot of good stuff happening.
And hello, this is Robbie Melton, Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, hello, Robbie.
Hey, life is good. Come on to Nashville. We're going to host you all, and you'll never forget this conference. Trust me.
We're looking forward to that, Robbie. Thank you.
Be great to see Robbie again. Love Nashville. It's always fun to go there, be with those folks there. Last thing here, questions. Again, you can contact me at either one of these email addresses, support@skillscommons.org is all over our site. So if you want to use that one, that email address comes right to me, and so we can help you get you in contact with Microburst Learning if that's what you need, or if you just have general questions about attribution statements or reuse of these materials that are in SkillsCommons. Because of the CC BY license, you can take those materials and rebrand it and make it over and do with what you want and reuse it. So we really love to see folks be able to take the material from SkillsCommons and reuse it. Rebecca, I'm going to turn it over to you to see if you have any last minute comments or statements you want to make. And folks, if there's any questions, we have about 10 minutes left in our hour, so we can entertain those as well. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Great. Thank you so much. We just so enjoy working with everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to be here today. We're very excited, and it's always interesting to see the new courseware and the new material that's being created. And we're very much looking forward to Nashville.
Great. Be great to see you all there. All right. Not seeing anything coming into the chat window for questions. Maria, anything else you want to say before we wrap it up here?
Nope, I'm good, Rick. Thank you so much.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for attending today's webinar with Microburst Learning. Again, we're going to put up their information on the website, and we'll have all that posted here probably in the next few weeks. And so you'll be able to get more information about that and around this webinar and the services that Microburst provides as well. And we'd love to see you in Nashville. As Robbie said, we got a great welcome there from one of our host people that are there. So Robbie, we look forward to seeing you and many of you folks there as well. Thanks again for attending today, and we appreciate it. We'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.